Hi, I'm that guy Joel Kreisberg, and I'm here to introduce to you the fall practice period, the Heart of Zen. It's very exciting to be able to really bring Junpo Roshi's Dharma wisdom to life again this year, coming up in a few weeks. We've put together a lovely group of senior practitioners, some that have been with Junpo all the way back 25 years when the founding of Hollow Bones. And so as a way of beginning to to move into this particular practice period, I just want to kind of do a little bit of origins here in today's first first take on the Heart of Zen. Junpo Roshi, was trained at Daibasatsu in New York, which is part of Zen Study Society. And he was actually the first Dharma heir of Edo Shimano Roshi. Edo Shimano Roshi came to the United States in the mid 60s, and he inherited the Zen Study Societies, which I believe was actually originally had its origins with D.T. Suzuki for a few years, but it was struggling at that time. And so when Edo Roshi showed up, he adopted it. And of course, the question is, of course, Edo Roshi, who was sponsoring him, and that was Soan Nakagawa Roshi. And it was Soan Nakagawa, or Soan Roshi, as we'll say, who really had the vision of bringing Rinzai Zen to the United States. So Daibosatsu is actually a mountain in Japan, and Soen Nakagawa really wanted to bring this Dharma teaching to the United States. And so Edo Shimano Roshi was here bringing that set of teachings. So this is the Rinzai tradition, and the Rinzai tradition, at least the way it's practiced at Daibosatsu in New York these days, comes from Hakuin. Hakuin is really the one who's responsible for the version of Zen that's practiced at this stage, or he was the one who put together the koan work in the way it was. Of course, before Hakuin, essentially Zen goes back to really to Dogen. He's not the first person to bring Chan to Japan, but he's the one who is most associated with the movement of the Chan practice. Chan being the Chinese word for Zen. To Japan, and that's in the 1200s. And you see that really very clearly in the Soto practice in the United States. Many practitioners, the White Plum Asanga is the largest Soto set of Dharma centers. The Rinzai tradition in the United States is not quite as it's not popular is not the right word. It's not as common. There are several other Rinzai sanghas in the United States. They are not directly in the same lineage at this stage, at this point in the fork, as Soan Roshi's. And so Junpo Roshi spent pretty much the 1990s at DBZ most of that time. He wasn't strictly there, but he was there, and he was the head monk there for a while, and he received Inca, which is the transmission from Edo Roshi, and you can read about his biography, The Heart Ball and Open. He talks about the challenges he faced because he was raised Irish Catholic, Dennis Cayley, and it seemed like Edo Roshi's form of Zen was very Japanese, and Junpo really felt like American the American audience needed a bunch of things actually, and you see that in the practice of in the Mondo Zen teachings, like there, So he introduced to the monastery, embodiment practice. At that stage, it was yoga. Junpo was Patabi Joyce was his teacher of yoga, which is a fabulous form of yoga. And so, Edo Shimano allowed Junpo to bring yoga in. That has been over time, and the Hollow Bones tradition has been largely replaced by Qigong, or Qigong, if you want to say it that way. But the other big sort of piece that Junpo was particularly committed to was emotional maturity, and I'm going to sort of use the language emotional development. And so one of when you look at the koan canon, the Blue Cliff Record is the primary set of texts, but the Mumonkan and the Book of Serenity are the three great texts of the 12th century Chan practitioners. Most of the koans are really about waking up, about it's like that sort of way of get out of your thoughts, get out of your problem solving brain, and wake up to this awareness that's right here, right now, at any time. And it's a fabulous practice. But in the 19th century, the West really sort of started to learn that the mind is more than just our thoughts. There's also feelings, right? Sometimes called emotions. Some of the more hardcore physiological teachers like to say that emotional responses are more the biological, physiological responses of fright. It's like sudden reacting, or shame, self-criticism, and feelings are more the qualities of the emotions. And we know that that's more of the midbrain structures versus the prefrontal cortex structures or executive functioning. But either way, you can safely say that traditional koans are not oriented around emotional development or emotional growth or emotional maturity. And Junpo, kind of as he was in a leadership role around the monastery, kind of noticed that waking up, sitting quietly, having these profound experiences of dhyana, experiences of shunyata, perhaps of emptiness or boundlessness, didn't necessarily translate into getting along or being skillful in handling one another's emotional reactivity. And so he set himself out to kind of create a practice using this koan technology to help people mature emotionally, to become capable of being emotionally intelligent, using a similar style of practice that the traditional koan, Rinzai koan practices use for the waking up. And so he developed emotional koans. So this coincided with him leaving the monastery because for one, he didn't feel like he wanted to condone Edo Shimano's behavior, and he also wanted to create his own Dharma teachings. His own Dharma teachings are Mondo Zen. And so he left the monastery, and slowly but surely, and we won't go over that part of the history today because I want to keep this short, he created Hollow Bones and the Mondo Zen Dharma teachings. And so what we are going to do for this 6-week practice period starting March 13th is have, as I say, 6 of his teachers come and teach. So we're going to use the Heart of Zen as a book. So you get the Heart of Zen, and there'll be a chapter each week, and you know, have an opportunity to hear out, you know, what does it sounds like now to look at these teachings. Okay, to dig into them. Of course, there's also 4 practice periods a week where we'll be, you know, having a chance to discuss, to sit together and also discuss these things, as well as there's you know, the opening retreat and a 1-day retreat and a closing 2-day retreat, and then there will be a course that will look at a variety of modern koans. So we're going to look at the emotional koan that Junpo introduced in the context of some of the other innovations in koans that have happened in the last 10 or 15 years. So I'll talk about some of what we're going to do in those other pieces in another video. But today I just wanted to kind of share the basic origins of these teachings and invite you all to join us for the fall practice period 2024 at Shining Bright Lotus Meditation Society. So thank you all for listening.